What if the world's most powerful nation is slowly losing its grip right in front of us? What if the headlines you read are only half the story? For decades, the United States stood as an unchallenged global superpower. Its military, economy, and culture shaped the modern world. But today, a new question echoes across continents. Is American power fading, or is this just another illusion? From rising global rivals to internal divisions, the signs are complex. Some experts warn of decline, while others see transformation. History has seen empires rise and fall before. So is the United States following the same path? Or is it adapting in ways we do not yet understand? This is not just a political debate. It is a question that affects the future of the entire world. Stay with us as we uncover facts, myths, and hidden realities, because the answer may surprise you more than you expect. To understand the present, we must look at the past. After World War II, the United States emerged as a global leader. Its economy was strong and its influence was unmatched. It helped rebuild Europe and shaped global institutions. The Cold War further strengthened its global position. By the 1990s, it stood as the world's only superpower. This era was often called the Unipolar moment. American culture spread across the globe through media and technology. Its military bases expanded worldwide. Its currency became the backbone of global trade. But history teaches us that dominance never lasts forever. Even the strongest empires face challenges over time. The question is not if change happens, but how. And today, the world is clearly changing. The balance of power is no longer as simple as before. The economy is often the first sign of power shifts. For decades, the U.S. economy led the global system. But now new players are rising rapidly. Countries like China have expanded their economic reach. Global supply chains are becoming more diversified. Debt levels in the U.S. have reached historic highs. Some analysts see this as a warning sign. Others argue it is part of a normal economic cycle. Innovation in technology still keeps America competitive. Silicon Valley remains a global hub of ideas. However, inequality within the country is growing. This creates internal pressure on long-term stability. Economic strength is not just about size. It is also about sustainability and resilience. And this is where the debate becomes more intense. Military strength has long defined American dominance. The U.S. spends more on defense than any other nation. Its global presence is unmatched. From advanced aircraft to naval power, its capabilities are vast. But modern warfare is changing rapidly. Cyber threats and asymmetric warfare are rising. Traditional military strength is no longer enough. Rivals are investing in new forms of defense. Conflicts are becoming more complex and unpredictable. The U.S. still leads, but the gap is narrowing. Public support for foreign wars is also declining. This affects long-term military strategy. Power today is not just about force. It is about adaptability and intelligence. And this is where new challenges emerge. Internal unity is essential for global power. But the United States is facing deep political divisions. Partisan conflicts are becoming more intense. Trust in institutions is declining. Elections are more polarized than ever before. This affects decision-making at the highest level. Global leadership requires consistency and stability, but internal conflict can weaken external influence. Allies begin to question long-term reliability. Rivals may see opportunities in division. However, democracy also allows for self-correction. Debate and disagreement are part of the system. The real question is how far division can go. Can the system adapt and recover, or will internal struggles reshape global power? One of the biggest factors is the rise of China. Its economy has grown at an unprecedented pace. It is investing heavily in global infrastructure. Projects like the Belt and Road Initiative expand its reach. China is also advancing in technology and innovation. Its influence in international organizations is increasing. This creates a new kind of global competition, not just military but economic and strategic. The world is no longer dominated by one power. It is moving toward a multipolar system. The U.S. must now compete in new ways. Cooperation and rivalry exist at the same time. This balance is fragile and complex, and it defines the modern global order. The outcome is still uncertain. Alliances have always strengthened American power. NATO and other partnerships expanded its global reach. But today, alliances are evolving. Some partners are becoming more independent. Europe is seeking greater strategic autonomy. New regional alliances are emerging. Global politics is becoming more flexible. Influence is no longer controlled by one nation. The U.S. still plays a key role, but it must adapt to changing dynamics. Diplomacy is becoming more important than ever. Soft power is as critical as hard power. Cultural influence still remains strong, but influence alone is not enough. Trust and cooperation are equally important. Technology is the battlefield of the future. The United States leads in many areas of innovation. Artificial intelligence and space exploration are key fields, but competition is growing rapidly. Countries are investing heavily in research. Technological leadership is no longer guaranteed. Control over data and digital systems is crucial. Cybersecurity has become a national priority. Innovation drives economic and military strength, but it also creates new vulnerabilities. The pace of change is accelerating. Adaptation is essential for survival. The U.S. has the advantage of creativity, but it must maintain its edge. Because the future belongs to innovators, power is not only about strength, it is also about how others see you. Global perception of the U.S. is changing. Some view it as a defender of democracy. Others see it as inconsistent or unpredictable. Media narratives influence global opinion. Diplomatic actions shape long-term trust. Public opinion matters more than ever before. Soft power depends on credibility, and credibility takes time to build, but it can be lost quickly. The U.S. still holds cultural influence worldwide. From films to music, its reach is global. But perception is becoming more complex, and that complexity shapes global power. Global competition is intensifying. Trade wars and economic policies are shifting. Countries are protecting their own industries. Globalization is evolving, not disappearing. Supply chains are being restructured. Economic influence is becoming decentralized. The U.S. must navigate this new environment. Competition is no longer one-sided. It involves multiple powerful players. Economic strategy is now more critical than ever. Adaptation determines long-term success. Flexibility becomes a key advantage. The rules of the game are changing, and everyone is adjusting, including the United States. American culture has shaped the modern world. Hollywood, music, and technology spread its values. English became a global language of communication. This cultural reach is a form of soft power, but cultural influence is no longer one-directional. Other cultures are rising on the global stage. Digital platforms amplify diverse voices. The world is becoming more interconnected. Cultural exchange is more balanced today. The U.S. still leads, but not alone. Influence is now shared across regions. Creativity is global, not local. This shift reflects a changing world and a more distributed form of power, where influence flows in multiple directions. History provides valuable lessons. Every empire faces challenges over time. Some decline rapidly, others transform. The British Empire once dominated the world, but its influence gradually changed. The question is whether history repeats itself, or if the U.S. will follow a different path. Modern systems are more interconnected. Global collapse is less likely, but change is certain. Power shifts rarely happen overnight. They unfold over decades. Subtle changes often go unnoticed until they become impossible to ignore. We may be witnessing such a shift today, but its final outcome remains unclear. Not everyone believes the U.S. is declining. Some argue it is simply evolving. Its economy remains one of the largest. Its military is still the strongest globally. Its universities lead in research and innovation. Immigration continues to bring talent. Entrepreneurship drives new industries. The system has shown resilience before. It has adapted through crises in the past. Supporters see strength and flexibility. They argue that change is not decline, but a sign of transformation. The U.S. may not be weakening. It may be redefining its role. In a more complex world, the truth may lie somewhere in between. The United States is neither collapsing nor invincible. It is facing real challenges, but it also has unique strengths. Global power is becoming more distributed. No single country dominates completely. This creates both risks and opportunities. The future depends on adaptation and the ability to respond to change. The U.S. still plays a central role, but it must share space with others. This is the new global reality, complex, interconnected, and evolving. Where power is no longer absolute, but constantly shifting, so is the decline of American power a myth or a reality? The answer is not simple. It depends on how we define power and how we measure change. The world is entering a new era, one where dominance is less clear and influence is more shared. The United States remains a key player, but it is no longer alone at the top. This shift will shape the future of global politics and affect every nation on Earth. The real question is not just about decline, but about transformation and adaptation. So now we ask you, is America fading, or is it simply changing into something new?